Hedaya Islamic community in Newtown is extremely happy to have you all join us today for this program and for the dinner afterwards. In our tradition, we always start with a short recitation from the Holy Quran. And we have our dear young little sister, Maryam Bavnagarwala, who will come and recite a few verses from the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise is due to God, the Lord of the universe, the beneficent, the merciful, Lord of the day of judgment. You alone we worship, and to you alone we turn for help.
And in Ramadan, of course, we fast from early in the morning, right before sunrise, until sunset, and we don't even drink water. But we thought of giving you some different anecdotes from fasting from the different people in the community.
So I realized that it's my duty as a young Muslim professional to ensure that the youth of the Ummah and the community at large continue to be educated and inspired each and every day. I've already tried starting some of the initiatives, like offering some of my time for tutoring. So if any of you guys have kids who are, failing physics or on the verge of failing math, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to help them with that. So I'd like to conclude with this message for the young professionals here tonight, but more so the community at large. Let us use the remaining days of this holy month to reflect on the importance of our community and how we can better serve it, and also deliver the impact which will leave this place better for everyone.
However, the older I got, the more I understood my religion's place in the world. I became aware of the controversy that Islam had gained in both the media and in society, and knew that the reputation of the religion was going downward. Of course, this news made me upset, but it was at that moment that I realized that continuing to get offended whenever Islam was brought up in public would do me no good. Nowadays, I don't wear Islam as a label, but rather as a part of my life. I apply the teachings of the religion to my everyday life, treating people with respect and always trying to do the right thing. If people have questions about my religion, I simply answer them. And if people have negative things to say, I disregard their comments but still treat them with respect.
As you can see, the Muslim community is a very diverse community. We have different colors, different countries, represented from different continents. Some speak Arabic, others speak Urdu, others speak English. We don't have one specific language.
So alive, it's like my soul flies in your life. But how I wish you'd be here with me all year around. Ramadan, 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 ya Habib. There is a month that is certainly blessed. Of all the months, it is the best. In it many good deeds are done. Homework is easy and we have lots of fun. It was in this month that the Quran was sent down. So to the best man Muhammad, who lived in a desert town, this blessed month is here again. It's Ramadan, of course, so be happy, dear friend.
Some of my best memories growing up of Ramadan include breaking fast together as a community on the weekends and being able to taste such a vast variety of foods from Turkey, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, the Middle East, and so many more. When I think of my community, I am proud to have grown up in a town like Newtown where I can feel free to express my identity as a Muslim. Thank you, my beautiful town.
If you look back into the history of society, we look as far back as to the time of Plato. And we saw that Plato was a very big advocate of fasting. And Plato said he himself fasted for greater mental and physical efficiency. Fast forward some years later, and we see one of the founding fathers of this country, Benjamin Franklin, was also a very big pioneer in regards to emphasizing fasting. And Ben Franklin said, the best of all rest, or the best of all medicine, are rest and fasting. And now, along with this cleansing process, we also experience an uptake of human growth hormone. And this is like the miracle grow of our bodies and the fountain of youth. And so what happens is autophagy occurs. We bring all the old parts that are rusty and old and cause us to age at an accelerated rate, and we get rid of all of these things. And then human growth hormone comes in, and now this gives us the tools we need to replace all those old parts we just took out with brand new shiny parts. So it's like our body undergoes a cleansing and a renovation simply by not eating and drinking for a set period of time.
Who was the first Muslim ever who converted to Islam when the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came with his message? His wife, Sayyidah Khadija. So the first Muslim is a woman, okay? And this Sayyidah Khadija, she was the one who hired him as her business manager before the marriage, before everything else. So she had a wealth of money. She had a caravan that goes to Syria, Sham, and she was prominent from a noble family, and she needed someone to help in the business. So when she hired him and she saw how trustworthy he was, after a year of going and coming, and people reported how he was credible, so she proposed to marry him. And she was 15 years older than he is. She broke all the social norms and rules of that society.
My name before I became Muslim was Angela. Before that, it was Angelique. My mother thought that I was like an angel until she got to know me a little better. And then she changed it to Angela after Angela Davis. So when my husband took Shahada and he wanted to select a name, I was very hesitant on changing my name. And the Imam asked me what my name was, and I told him what it was, and I told him what the story was. And he said, Malaika. And I said, okay. He said, that's an angel. And I said, that angel part didn't work the first time. And he explained to me that angels were warriors. That they weren't these little fairy things that people imagine them to be, that when you saw an angel, something was about to go down. And I said, I like that. So when I show up, it's kind of like that, that something is about to go down. The other day, a friend of ours, she's been my friend for about 3 years, thick as thieves. Her daughter was having her communion, and she didn't invite us. It wouldn't be the first time that we didn't get invited to something like that. And she waited to the 11th hour, and then she invited us, and I said, why didn't you invite me sooner? She said, because I was afraid to. I didn't know what you would say. I didn't know if you could go into a church. I said, what did you think was going to happen? We was going to catch on fire. We walked into the church. And she said, I didn't want to offend you. This is somebody that I've known. Our kids have had sleepovers for 3 years. And she didn't want to offend me by sharing something as sacred and as powerful as her daughter's communion because she was afraid. It's time to not be afraid.
The first time I got invited to a mosque, it was by someone working in a gas station. He was ringing me up. I had actually just quit my job. I was extremely emotional. And he said, I want you to come hear my speech tomorrow. It's at Al Hedaya Mosque. It's right down the road. I know you live in town. I see you in here all the time. I said, I'm not Muslim. You know, I wouldn't know what to do. He said, no. He said, just something in my heart is telling me that this speech is meant for you to hear. I don't know why, but I just feel it. But I believe in God. I believe in Allah. And when someone tells me God wants you to do this, I cannot not do it. It's just who I am. So I walked in the mosque, and 3 years ago, my style was the skinny jeans, I had the cropped shirt, my hair was really long, I had it down. I didn't even know you were supposed to cover your hair in the mosque, or I didn't know if you were or weren't. I had no idea. I literally just strolled in off the street, and Sister Iman just, hi sister, how are you? Like, I was her best friend. I've never met like a more loving, welcoming human being in my entire life. I know it's really difficult in this day and age to kind of combat a lot of the Islamophobia that's going on, and if you're in any kind of position to combat it, in Islam we say if you can't change something, you know, with your action, you can change it inside your heart, you can speak against it, or you can just acknowledge that it's not right. But if you can speak up against something that you see that's not okay, that's not for the betterment of humanity, then you should do that.
In a nutshell, if you really want to know what Sharia is, most of you, either Christian or Jew or other faith traditions, or maybe you're not particularly following any faith tradition, it's basically a manual that comes with your book that tells you how to run your car, right? So basically Sharia is the manual. It's these laws and bylaws and little things here and there that tells you how to live your life as a Muslim. That's what Sharia is in a nutshell. So inshallah, by the end of tonight, after you have, hopefully you break fast with us, you witness our prayers, some of you might want to join us. So by the time you leave, you're going to be Sharia compliant community member. So you actually might be a problem for some of these Islamophobes who decided about a week ago to hold rallies, and they did this across the nation. So there was about 30 rallies, about 25, 30. And they held these, supposedly to defend America from this Muslim invasion who are trying to take over America and infiltrating the White House and the Senate and the Congress and put these Sharia laws in there. And so the thing is that when you hear it, and sometimes I tune in the radio to listen to some of these talking about Sharia, I get scared of Sharia too. And I'm a Muslim thinking that I'm following Sharia every day of my life. But the way they talk about it, and this boogeyman makes it so hard not to jump on the bandwagon, because after all, we all want to defend America. We want to defend this kind of gathering. Here's the thing. Every time I go, and like Sister Iman asked me to talk about Sharia and talk about some of these, let's say, crazies who are, trying to defend America, every time I try to talk about them, or if I go talk about ISIS, I find myself using the same arguments. I find myself using the same talking points, because both of them are two extremes that the majority of the Muslim community rejects. And we do not subscribe to their extreme interpretation of our faith.
This is such a wonderful evening, and so important. Because I have to say, I was pretty ashamed and embarrassed last week when one of 30 of these hateful rallies occurred in Waterbury, Connecticut, town next to me, in our congressional district. Doesn't represent what's best about America, and what's in this room represents what's best about America. In this town, as one of the young men said, the town that I love. In this town that we love, that Pat Lodra and Bob love. In this town which has come to represent for America, the town with the biggest heart. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah,
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر
Chicken? I have it unveiling. It says Muslim.
On top of this pasta? Yeah.
All right.
I'm passing the mic to Sister Iman. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Walaikum salam.
Muslims sit with non-Muslims and make this Sharia.
Are we in the picture? Yes.